What's up, guys? Christian Skies here, and we are back with episode 5 of Kerbal Space Program. Now, after that ridiculously long episode, where we crammed a absolute ton into an hour and a half, we'll be coming back to a little bit more regular of a video here. Now, I did do some things off camera, just because it was at a location we've already been to multiple times, and I didn't want to do just a repeat mission of what we had just done, but I went ahead and did a tourist mission to the Mun. It was just an orbital. We didn't have to land. And then that netted us 1.4 million funds. Actually, it was 1.2 million funds. But I just accepted a few more contracts, which we're going to work on right now. So I have a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to get to Minmus. I want to build an orbital station around the Mun. I want to build a ground station. But we don't have the science to do exactly what I want to do right now. So we're going to complete some contracts to kind of get these out of the way so we can do some cool stuff. I wanted to build a network first, so we'll go ahead and do the contracts for building a satellite network, which is right here. So we're going to build a Tundra satellite, and then we're going to build a regular satellite right here, which I think we'll go ahead and build this one first. This one's the cheaper option. So we'll go ahead and build this one. And I think we're going to just use the... Actually, can we make a cheaper satellite delivery vehicle? Let's see. We'll use the Hex. And then we'll put a relay antenna on it. Where is it? There it is. Like that. And then we'll add our power to it. I want the 1x6. Add 4 of it. There we go. Then we will add Oscar fuel tanks. I think we'll add 3 of these. Oh, no. 2, 3. Oh, no. 3. And then a spark. What does this change to? Okay. Is that all we need on there? I think that is. And then what else do we need? Thermometer. Reach, unmanned, designated orbit, thermometer. So all we need on here is a thermometer. And that'll be it for the science. We'll add the thermometer right here. So that's pretty simple. 2,000 meters per second of delta V on here. We can move this anywhere we need to. It'll be a good little relay probe. And then we'll add, just to kind of boost its power, we'll add a communitron on here. Just for fun. So let's extend this and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll go ahead and roll with that. Now, let's put this inside of a fairing. Payload. Actually, let's do a decoupler. Like that. And then large fairing. Or do we even need a large... I think we can do this as cheaply as possible. So we're going to do a small decoupler. That's too small. So TD12 with the... I want to do a red one. Or an orange one, I mean. Let's do that. There we go. That's our little satellite. Then we will add a T400 to this. Can we do black? Yeah. This will be our vacuum stage. So the Terrier will go on that. Let's see how cheap we can make this thing. And then this will be our injection stage, which we will use a T800 for. Just like that. I will use 2 T800s. Or do we even need 2 T800s? I don't think we do. And then we'll put a swivel on here. 1 swivel. 2 decouplers. And then we're going to add 2 T800s. lower these down a little bit. This is going to be pretty nice, I think. And then we'll add reliance just for that extra power. And then T400s and a cone. Actually, can we make this look cool? Oh yeah, I like the look of that. This is a pretty simple relay rocket. Really cheap and gonna net us a huge profit. So we will call this the relay insertion craft, the Rick, the Rick 1. Relay insertion craft. I like this. So the Rick 1. Here we go. And let's check staging. Actually, I forgot I want to add these. There we go. Then we'll save. Actually, let's do staging. So we're going to have that and this run in the same stage. Decouple this. Have the rocket continue off. And then decouple here. Okay. I think that works out just fine. So, let's get this thing into orbit. Do we have everything we need on the satellite? Have thermometer on the satellite. Let's see. Thermometer check. Okay. So let's launch this thing into outer space. And just to save time on the video, I'll go ahead and fast forward until we are in orbit. So I will be right back. Okay, and we are now in orbit. So, just to recap what I did, I had to go back to the VAB and replace those bottom two on the left and right side with swivels. It was a little too hard to control. We kept flipping over, so I just went and replaced the Reliance with swivel engines. That way to make it easier. So, now we are here with our satellite. And I wish I had added a probe core here, because I think we're going to need it. Although what I'll do is I might just go ahead and deorbit that. I don't think we'll need it, but just in case, we'll do it anyway. So this is a pretty much equilateral orbit. We're aiming for this pink one right here. Oh, that's a crazy orbit for a satellite. Oof. Okay, so let's extend our apoapsis here. So we'll go ahead and add a maneuver and extend this out here. What is this? 4,198,000. 4,190,000, 60, 200, 201. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now we'll move that there. Okay, so it's just going to be a 20-second or 40-second burn. So that's all we will need to do. Okay, yeah, what I'll do to deorbit this is I'll extend it out with this tank of fuel, and then I'll extend the rest out with that final tank. So we'll go ahead and warp up a little bit. Just so we get there, and let's go ahead and face prograde. And then once we reach this, we'll go ahead and speed up time just a little bit till we get to about 25. That way we can reposition. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we'll ditch this this tank right here once we get over to our apoapsis. That way we don't leave space junk like I did here. I got to get rid of those. But other than that, why are you on the Mun? Huh. Oh, that's the tourist, right? But I'm going to really try not to leave space junk. And I will start shifting. We're looking for 4,198,000. There we go. Perfect. Now, we should have plenty of fuel in this satellite to get us to this orbit here. I'm hoping. Okay, so we will face retrograde, burn our periapsis to nothing, then we will decouple, face prograde, okay, I see what I did wrong there. Now we'll decouple that. Face prograde. Here's our satellite. This is being deorbited. And we'll go ahead and activate this engine. Why isn't this engine activated? Come on. There we go. And now we just need to get this all the way over to here, which I think we will have plenty of fuel to do. Yes, we will. So this one needs to be 3,500,000. That's what we're aiming for. And that is pretty perfect for the most part. How long does this? What are we missing? Okay, so it's not as perfect as they want it. Okay, so what we'll do is come over here, and then we'll lower this orbit a little bit. So let's shift it. There we go. There's no way that doesn't. I see we're a little bit off. Okay, our inclination is wrong. Okay, so let's do our ascending node right here. And then let's fix this just a little bit. Okay, that's got to be it. This is a little tiny burn that we'll be doing at our radio out, radio in node. Huh. So I gotta find that radial. Yeah, here we go. And we just gotta barely burn it. And we'll do it right here. There we go, and contract complete. That's our satellite. Successfully in orbit. So let's go ahead and look at this, and we'll get it facing towards the sun. That way we have all the sunlight we need. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Now this thing can soak up all the sun. So this will give us a pretty powerful satellite in orbit, and then we'll try and get this one to cover the majority of the system. So let's go back to the Space Center, and then do the same thing and try and get it in the polar orbit that we were looking for. Ow. Did y'all hear that? Okay, we'll go ahead and speed up time here. There we go. Let's look at the tracking center to go ahead and check what we're... That is a difficult... What is that? 45 degrees? So if we're leaving the KSC and going polar. That is a weird orbit. Huh. That is really strange. We might want to wait on that contract, because that is that's a strange orbit that I might not want to deal with right now. So what else do we have? Maybe we can work on building the ship for our orbital station. Wants extra fuel. That's no problem. This will be a pretty cool one, actually. And then we can go back and redo a Mun landing. But I'll only do this when we do our ground station. But to do any of that, I really want to have the science, or the mobile processing lab, the MPL. Let's see. Actually, let's do an expedition to Minmus first. That sounds like fun. So let's go ahead and build a Minmus craft. We can use the smaller parts for. We don't have to build a ginormous... We could probably use something like this to get to Minmus, really. If we wanted to. The Rick 1. Let's see. So what do we want to do? We have a lot of... We can do a lot. But really what I need right now is science. We need plenty and plenty of science to get to anywhere else that we're wanting to get to. We want the heavier solar panels. We want to be able to build space stations. Now, of course, technically, I could build an orbital station around the Mun and then attach the mobile processing lab later. That doesn't sound like a horrible idea. What's the... At least 5 Kerbals. Oh, yeah, we don't even have the cupola, do we? The viewing port. No, yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a Minmus mission for sure. So, let's go ahead and launch another... let's see. We can go ahead and put another satellite into orbit in a polar region. I think, yeah. Let's go ahead and put another satellite in a polar orbit. That way we can get pretty much full access from anywhere. And that way we can have our beginnings of a good network set up. That way we can hook up to from anywhere in the solar system. So once again, I'll go ahead and speed up and get us into orbit.
Explanation for gravity is
matter than space.
10, 9, ignition.
All right, and we have both satellites in orbit and ready to go. So we have a little network set up here that's going to work for our needs. This will be pretty much active all the time. We should have service anywhere within Kerbin's sphere of influence. We might want to add a few little satellites around here just for fun. But this is our little network setup so far. I kind of ignored this orbit because that sucks. I wanted something a little more symmetrical. So I went with that. So, this is our second satellite set up. And the back of it is pointing towards the sun right now. We are over the pole. Look at that. That's cool. So we can reorient the solar panels if need be. But for now, that's fine. Woo! I failed the launch like twice. We flipped over, so I had to... I don't know if I said this already. I might have cut that out. I'm not sure. But I replaced the... I'll just show you. Just in case I cut it out. Because we did flip over twice. So I replaced these bottom two with swivels. Just to make it easier for us to do. I think I did mention that in our first launch. But not the second. Okay, so the RIC satellite launcher has done its job great. And it has plenty of fuel. We could send a really far satellite with this setup right here. And it's pretty cheap. So, yeah. Now, what we want to do is work on a Minmus lander. I'm really excited to do this. And we barely need any fuel. We can build it with the RIC. The relay insertion craft. Yeah, we can go ahead and build this. So we'll just do a modification here. Get rid of that. And go ahead and build a Minmus lander. So what we'll do... Oh, I didn't mean to grab two of them. I like the white one. Let's see, there we go. So we'll grab this. Plop a parachute on it. And then this can be a really simple lander. All we need really is a small fuel tank. Like, no, let's do the T400. Yeah, that's all we need right there. We can add just 4 of these for the look of it. Actually, we'll drop this down here. And I want to put the landing legs on that. And we got the better ones, so. There we go. Looks a little silly right now, but I think it looks kind of cool. Just 4,000 funds for this. And also, let's go ahead and add a heat shield and a decoupler. Like that. And then like that. Oh! And the Science Junior, that's right. That's what I was missing. What's the thrust away? Oh, do we not have a thrust to weight scale? Oh, there we go. So, ooh. That is a really low delta V number. We might want to put... Oh, this is on Kerbin. What's it going to be on Minmus? Okay, yeah, we have plenty. Plenty indeed on this. Now let's go ahead and grab all of our science stuff. So I want to do... We'll take 1 sample in high orbit of Minmus. And then I want to go ahead and grab 2 samples here. What are you doing there? 1 sample from high orbit, 1 from low orbit, and 1 from the ground. Same with this. And then we'll go ahead and do 1 more goo container unit right there. And that'll be all of the science we need for this. And just in case, I think this time we are going to grab just 2 battery packs. Actually, we're just going to grab 1. 400 should be plenty. And then we'll add a solar panel back here. just to grab us a little bit of power if we need it. I still think this is a little extra for what we're trying to do. But now let's go ahead and grab that. We might need the large... Actually, what we'll do... This might not work out the way I really want. Oh, dang, that battery pack is expensive. What was so expensive? Oh, the solar panel and the battery pack. So we'll go ahead and just do 2 small battery packs then to lower the cost, because I don't want this to be too expensive. And then we'll grab 4 landing struts. And that will be our lander. I'm really hoping that doesn't bounce. But I think we should be okay. So let's go ahead and grab the whole vehicle. Edit the fairing. Uh-oh. Actually. There we go. So we're going to have a couple of the struts chilling out, but that's not too bad. So a thrust to weight. Let's see. All of this looks pretty good to go. This will be the RIC 2. Shincraft lander. Yeah, the RICL lander edition. And then we got these, that, decouple, great. That goes, and then should decouple. Yeah. So we're gonna add this decoupler here, and fire this off. All the staging is correct. Oh no. We want to switch these. Now all the staging is correct. So the RIC, the RIC-L, the RICL, is ready to go to Minmus. And you know what? We might just do a Minmus mission this episode. You know what? Let's do it. On our way to Minmus it is. This is a 21,000 fun craft to Minmus and back. Not too bad. Do we have the parachute? Yes, we do. Alright. So, let's check our transfer window to make sure that we are ready to go to Minmus. And then we will head to Minmus. Okay, and we are here at the sped up version of what you're about to see. So, this entire mission did not go as planned. And I won't spoil the whole mission, but it is... I mean, we were hanging on by a thread the entire way. It was hard to get a transfer, fuel conservation, the whole works. But I'll kind of explain what we're doing here. Of course, we're just getting into orbit right now, nothing special. And to add on that, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wake up. I'm going to just get up and come do this Minmus mission. I had finished recording the first bit of this video and then was going to go sleep and then finish the rest of it in the morning, which I guess I am because it's the morning, but I didn't get any sleep between that. I'm not sure why. I just wasn't tired and just couldn't sleep, so I decided, you know what, why not go to Minmus. So as you can see in the background here, we've got the rest of our or the first part of our satellite network set up, giving us connection, even though we're right here at Kerbin. But we're still getting in orbit here, and you can see we're on our last tank. We haven't even done an insertion burn, or a capture burn, or landing, and we're already on our last tank. So, the lander that we built works, but just barely. I would recommend tweaking it if you're going to build something similar. Tweaking it a little bit better than I did. Maybe testing it a little better than I did. I just built it and said, let's fly it. I looked at the Delta V and said, yeah, we can do this. And I could have done a better transfer. A more efficient transfer than I did. I got a really far transfer, which was not smart. When I could have gotten much closer. But I took what I had because it's 5:30 in the morning. And I'm probably going to be pretty tired soon. But yeah, we do our transfer here and get to warping towards the periapsis as the Kerbal music plays in the background. And then it is a really long capture burn. This is where I wasted a ton of fuel that I didn't need to waste if I had just gotten a little closer. And so we take some of our upper Minmus orbit science, and then we do our little EVA and grab everything we can. At this point, I was really contemplating how we were going to finish this mission. I was not sure if we were going to have enough Delta V to land and then return. And I was like, do we just do a flyby and then head back here? But then I realized, you know what? I'll quick save just in case, and we'll give it a try. And so I come down to prepare to land. And I wasn't going to be picky with our landing spot. I know the lakes are the best place to land, but I was going to try and pick just any place that I could that we landed on. Because with the amount of fuel that we had left, there was no picking. We weren't going to be able to get the place of our choosing. Of course, I did a little maneuvering here and there. I wanted to get on that flatter mountain plane right there. That way we didn't land in a huge rough patch. And then I just fast forwarded till we got down towards the surface here. And I saw we were getting kind of low, and then I realized we're not going to make it to the top of that mountain, are we? I'm going to have to land this thing on the side of this mountain right here. And this is where the second part of the mission did not go as planned. So our fuel is getting minimal. And on top of that, we're going to have to make a wacky landing, which didn't go as planned in another way, due to the fact that I never changed the orientation to surface. It's stuck on orbit, which is a pain. I wish I had realized this sooner. We probably could have saved even more fuel. But we're just going to kind of slowly fly down here as I continue to speed up. I was just really trying to judge what I was going to do here to be able to get back. Was I going to have to send a rescue mission? I wasn't sure. So I was like, you know what? We're already going to land here, so we might as well give it a shot, see what's going on. And this is where I realized, oh, I never changed it to surface. Because I kept just going sideways, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't retrograde killing my horizontal momentum. And I was just like confused as to why the retrograde was moving north, but I'm still just flying sideways, and here I switch it to surface and fix that problem. But here we go as we settle down to land to get as slow of an approach as possible. We're on an incline here, a pretty big incline, on a not so heavy craft with no fuel, and so the inevitable happens, as you're about to see in just a second. We touched down pretty gracefully. I was happy with the landing, as it was. And so to try and stop physics, I go to speed it up a little bit. And as you'll see in just a second, I think, yeah, when I unpause physics, the ship jumps. And what that does is, as soon as I go to EVA, the ship is going to want to flip. Which is a huge, huge problem. So, as the ship started to flip there, I had to just hit the gas. I was like, all right, we're going to either fall and blow up, or I can, we were already pointed pretty 90 at a 90, so that was pretty lucky. So I said, all right, we're just going to forget the rest of the science, ditch the rest of this mission. We landed, we got some science, we achieved our basic primary mission, and from there, we are going to head back to Kerbin. At least we're going to try to. We were running extremely low on fuel at this point after doing our landing. And I was just really hoping that we would be able to get back. I wasn't even worried about doing our second round of lower science at the point. I was just kind of trying to finish off this mission. So we get circularized here. And then I go about trying to figure out the most efficient way I can get back to Kerbin. And I should have just taken the impact. That would have been the best way. But I wanted to be safe because I wasn't sure how fast I was going to be coming in. And I really didn't want to, after doing all of this, just happen to blow up on the surface. So I opted to do a really efficient burn to about 50,000 kilometers. 50,000 kilometers? 50 kilometers. And then, so we do our burn here. And then I retrograded to get out of a... Oh, I just hit the desk. I retrograde to get it out of a impact orbit, or an impact trajectory. Whew. And this was where I was just ready to get back, and we kind of started spinning there. I was just ready to get back, get this mission over with. I was like, nothing else can go wrong. We're finally on a trajectory back to Kerbin, and I can rebuild a better ship to redo this mission. It had been, I think, I had done over 2 hours of recording for the beginning part of this video and this part, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to redo this rocket and do an actually decent mission that's not a total failure. But as it turns out, we were going way too fast, and I have to aero brake, I think 4, maybe 5 times. So that was our first aero brake, and here comes our second, and I just have to continue aero braking around and around, which I guess was the better alternative to risking a crash. When I had talked about horizontal aero braking, I wasn't meaning this harshly. This was a little bit much of an aero brake, but we just didn't have the fuel, so I'm happy to take this over a failed mission. Even though we didn't get as much as we wanted, and we didn't get to stay on Minmus as long as we wanted and explore a little bit, we were very limited on the tech that we brought, which I guess is okay. It was a fairly cheap ship to fire there and back, and we got science, so we can get some new stuff, and then we will redo this mission. I'll probably redo a solid Minmus. I think I'm going to try and get rover tech, and then we're going to send missions to the Mun and Minmus again to collect even more science. I'm going to try and do a massive science mission to Minmus. We've already done a pretty big one to the Mun, so I think I'm going to do a similar thing where I send a huge science fleet to Minmus to try and get as much as we can. That way we can head to Duna. That is the target that's after this. We're going to send a probe to Duna first, and then we will, to get kind of a relay set up. That way we can keep in constant connection to the KSC. But here we go. This is our final aero brake that we had to do. And we actually got really, really lucky. Well, we landed right at the KSC. Which I guess after all the unexpected things that happened on this mission, was a welcome surprise to land right here at the KSC, right at home. He didn't have to wait very long to get rescued. So we go ahead and recover our vessel and check out the science we got. We got a pretty good bit. We can get either 1-300 tech or a couple of 90s, or really anything we want. So thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next episode.